Not worth it.
Hey, how goes it? Ken Bozak here to talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin accessories. And I am here with Peter Ohanyan from 3T Networks.com. How goes it, bro? Thanks for joining me today.
Hey man, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Really looking forward to talking.
Yeah, man, for sure. Actually, they know who I am. Introduce yourself to the audience. Let them know who you are, maybe a little bit about how you got into crypto and what you do now in the industry.
Yeah, awesome, dude. So I actually got into crypto about a year and a half ago. So not a really long period of time. I'm actually an educator by day. So I am a physical education teacher in Jersey City, New Jersey. And, the power of bringing education to a field like this that needs the education is what excited me like crazy because you're talking about 98% of the world doesn't know what cryptocurrency is and less than that is actually invested in it. I mean, come on now. If I can educate 2% of the world, I mean, come on now. It's
Right.
fantastic. So, I was introduced by I was introduced by a couple friends, and they said, "Hey, you know what? You should really look at this." And I said, "Well, let's see." And I started researching it a little bit, and then I looked at the blockchain and the technology, and then I said, "Well, that might be something I can get behind." And then the educational aspect on top of that was absolutely incredible. So that was super awesome. I was stoked about that. And then basically, it was just kind of like spiraled from there, man. I mean, I started getting into just, a minor amount of trading and stuff like that, and then it just spiraled. But the education aspect is exactly why I'm here.
Yeah, we stumbled. You stumbled onto the 3T Networks team, right? So what do they do exactly? Maybe we could break it down and let everybody know exactly what goes on in 3TNetworks.com and what their goal is.
Yeah. So the 3T Networks company, basically what we do is the one most important thing that we always speak about is education. And educating people into cryptocurrency, we believe, is extremely important. And you can join any kind of organization in the world of cryptocurrency, but if you can get every single aspect in one spot rather than jumping around. I mean, you could join Now Mining, you could join Genesis, you could join Hashflare, but that's mining. When you're just joining mining and you're not diversifying, then you're doing the person that's coming into cryptocurrency a disservice by not showing them exactly everything that's involved. So what we basically do is we have full ICO reports that anybody can actually purchase to see, and they are minimized. So white papers are anywhere between 40 and 80 pages long. And what we do is we take the team, the development team, and everything else behind that, and we basically show you exactly why we think that this project is either not going to be around or going to be around. And then we have mining contracts, and then we have trend trading signals. And it's really about the education aspect that we actually give.
Right, and that's why you're here. Again, guys, I'm not being paid to do this. This isn't a shilling. This is a pure promotion of education. And people that want to get into the space, they constantly are asking everybody, how do I get in more educational information about Bitcoin? All we can really say is Google it and good luck. But there are places like 3tnetworks.com that do offer services for people. And I wanted to talk a little bit about maybe what your role is there and what you do in associations with them.
Yeah, so I'm actually one of the first, I guess you would call it, few people that actually joined the organization. And so I got in early, I found out about it early, and you know, I basically I wanted something that had honesty and integrity behind it because I am a person of that, and I wanted to make sure that if I put my name behind it, that it's not going to fail like all these other companies do, you know? So we don't want to be the next BitConnect. So obviously, we stay away from that, and we don't have any kind of dealings that we have to worry about as far as SEC regulations and things of that nature, because we are a publishing company and we are an information service, and you are paying a monthly fee for our service and for our products. So we are not saying, okay, well, we're going to take whatever money you have and then we're going to deposit it into this account and we're going to do it for you. No, we're not doing that. We're saying we're going to empower you with the knowledge to make your own decisions so that you can learn and earn at the same time.
Right, I'm going to teach you how to build a house. Here's a hammer. Here's some nails. I'm not going to tell you what to make the house look like when you're done with it. Here's the
Right.
tools and the knowledge to use the tools. But with your own due diligence, you could build a mansion, or you could be stuck with a hole in the ground forever. It's really up to the end user and what they do with the information. But that's the thing. Let's talk a little bit about education here. What are some of the first things the noobs need to know when they come into this space?
Oh man. First things. Only risk what you can put in that you can forget about.
I can't, see. That's why. Yeah, that's a good first thing right there for sure.
You
Yeah,
know,
I would say your private keys are your private keys, but I always forget that part. Don't go all in. Don't be getting a second mortgage. Don't put the
right.
college fund or the wedding fund in. What you can risk at the casino table. Throw that in crypto all day. All day, throw that at crypto.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm not gonna lie. I mean I was never a gambler, but I could easily see how this could be as addictive as gambling.
Oh, I definitely could. I see the appeal. I mean, gambling wasn't for me because I didn't like the environment, but I've been kind of a hermit and a screen glarer my whole life, and now glaring at a screen can make me significant amounts of profits. I do enjoy it. I didn't enjoy like the rush as much as I thought I would, but I think I'm better at the trading thing than I put on. What are some of the things that people should know about trading when it comes to the noobs advice, like making a move or actually getting the money into an investment?
Well, I mean I think when it comes to trading, I think you have to have a little bit of knowledge to understand how trading works, because you can't just jump into trading. Oh, I'm going to trade this and I'm going to trade that coin and I'm going to do this, and you have to at least understand the fundamentals and the understanding behind it. Because when I had a Facebook Live today, actually in Facebook, and I said, knowledge is power. Being knowledgeable about something and understanding is super important. Like if somebody says, "Hey, I want you to go look at this," and then you go look at it and then you check it out, then that's one thing. Then you understand exactly what goes into it. But let's say, hypothetically speaking, somebody says, hey, one of your friends says, hey, go into this, go check it out. And then you don't check it out. You take their advice and you
Right.
just jump in. But that's not knowledge, because now you're not gaining the knowledge to understand exactly what you're going into.
Right, yeah,
So,
it's watching me catch fish, and you come the next day and you think that you're gonna get some, but the fish moved, and I know how to follow the fish under the water because I learned all these things that it takes to do this. You can't just observe and mimic and expect it to get you the same results. That's exactly it. What does 3tnetworks.com do to contribute to the education of cryptocurrencies in the community in general?
Well, what I think 3T Networks does to contribute to that is that, we are offering, first of all, we are going to have, we haven't launched it yet, because we are actually still in our soft launch. We will be launching the next couple of weeks, but we will be offering full cryptocurrency education. So for somebody that wants to be a beginner, for example, just how to open their own basic blockchain wallet, we'll show them that, and we'll also teach them all the way up to how to be an advanced trader. So, you're going to get the whole spectrum of the education of cryptocurrency within our space. We have some really phenomenal team members involved within our organization. Our COO and CEO have tremendous amount of experience and integrity and just real great transparency behind them. And I speak to the CEO pretty much on a daily basis. So, we're always talking and contributing ideas, and he's actually become a good friend of mine now. So
Talking about Dan, right?
yeah, Dan,
Yeah,
exactly.
Dan. Yeah, I actually interviewed him earlier. So that interview with the CEO of 3tnetworks.com with Dan should be airing on pureblockchainwealth.com and on the YouTube channel Pure Blockchain Wealth. So I definitely, as you were saying, he's an awesome guy, man. It was a great conversation. I highly recommend, if you guys are more interested, to check out that interview. It was a little more money talks. This is obviously for the enthusiasts, I would say, the passionate side. But yeah, man, for sure. I love the more diversification and the options in educating cryptocurrency in general, basic education, advanced trading education. The multiple there's more platforms than 3T Networks, but this is one of many, and one of few that is reputable, credible, and the team has a reputation that they don't want to tarnish. Some of these platforms pop up with pictures of people that don't exist, or celebrities that have fake names under them and bios that have nothing to do with the platform. So this is why we're here, and this is why we're talking about this. And I was wondering, as a personal stance, what do you do as far as trading goes? Do you use any of the features in the platform to do your own trading? Do you day trade, or use any of the TA or ICO reviews that you use on the platform?
Yeah, so I think now would probably be an appropriate time to share my screen. So let me do that, and I'll show you guys a few things on how it works.
Oh, hi, me.
All right, so Ken, you can see my screen now.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Be careful, no nudes or private keys.
All righty. So here we have three different types of signals. So the main things are power trader signals, smart money, and trend trader signals. So power trader signals, I will show you in a second, just to be easier visually for you guys to see. So we have Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. We have the Australian dollar, Euro, British pound, New Zealand, Canadian dollar, Swiss franc, Japanese yen, and commodities for gold and silver. So not only is it Bitcoin, not only is it cryptocurrency, but it's also the forex market as well. So you are able to use these signals, and actually the person who created it was a guy by the name of Livio Naspoli. I don't know if Dan shared that with you or no.
I believe so. I did 3 interviews in that same day and 3 today. It's a big interview blur, but I'm positive he did bring up where we did talk about how you can jump into the green, and there's many multiple of options, so you're not stuck with just going out of Bitcoin and into US dollar, because maybe the US dollar may not be doing as good. Maybe you can jump from Bitcoin into the euro and keep making profit off the same moves. I thought that was really a unique. I didn't ever actually hear this before. For all I know, there may be somebody out there doing it, but I haven't heard of it, because he even went as far as to say, well, if that's not working, you could jump into gold or silver and keep the profit trains trying to. You're jumping ships, but you're jumping ships on the same curvature of your final destination. So that was pretty interesting to see that it was there's the spread and the multitude of options that keep profitability actually potential.
Oh yeah, no doubt. It's definitely true. So I mean, if you look here, so if we scroll down, let's just do Bitcoin for example. So this is the chart, right? So this lays out pretty much, there's nothing up top. So this pretty much lays out everything. Every single one of these dots is the signal, right? So if you look at the last signal that we had, it was a yellow, all right? So technically here you have a green and here you have a yellow. So really this signal and this signal kind of sort of correspond to one another. The yellow is pretty cautionary. So here we said red, right? So here we said, okay, this is where we're saying it might be a really good time to get out of Bitcoin. And so if you did it at this point in time, then the next day, Bitcoin would have dropped to here. So here it was about roughly 12, no, 11.6, something like that. And then here the next day on this red bar, you have approximately 10,200. So there's a big drop from there to there, right? That you were able to save. And then as you go along, the graph continues to grow. But here there's still no more signals because we do trend trading signals. So it's not the daily, you're going to get an alert that's going to go to your Telegram. We have an alert in Telegram that tells you that the charts have been updated, that the ICOs have been updated, but we do not forecast signals every single day as far as them changing. Whereas day trading does that, trend trading does not. So what we're doing is we're basically saying, okay, hey, look, if you don't have the time to sit in front of a computer and just analyze everything and see what's going on a daily basis, then trend trading signals are really your way to go because they save you time, because they go with the trend of the market. They don't go with the daily progressions of the up and down. So that's one thing that we do, which is really beneficial. And, you know, as transparent as I can be, no, the signals are not perfect. But if you started in November and you went to February and you never put in any more Bitcoin and you started with 1 Bitcoin, you would end up with 1.6 by February. So you're ending up with zero point 0.6 more Bitcoin for doing nothing but following a signal.
I like
So
that you measured it in more Bitcoin and not more dollars. That's what I want to hear.
exactly. So yeah, as you can see here, so here's the chart, and then you scroll down, and then there's more. So there's Ethereum, Litecoin. These are all the cryptos, but we're going to have more that are going to be listed here. So not just these three coming up soon. So now you have the Australian dollar, the euro, British pound, New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar. Now, if you went up to the euro was the only one that was in green. So if you look here, now here's the last signal that we got. Second to last signal was in red, right? So from here, there was a pretty decent drop from 1.24 in the world of Forex to 1.2, right? So from here to here, there's the drop. But the good thing is about in the world of Forex, you're actually able to benefit from the rise and the downfall. So that's the really exciting thing about this. So now it went down, and now here's a signal that's yellow, which means caution. It could be changing, but we're not going to put our money on it. And then the next day, all of a sudden, bam, it's in green. So now from here, we say, okay, now's a good time to come back in, and then it goes back up again. So that's kind of how these signals work. And then at the tail end of this, all the way at the bottom, hang on, here we go. So you're able to, if you don't understand it, we lay it out for you so you understand exactly what red, yellow, and green really mean. And it's not just colors, but here you have an explanation. Again, part of the education behind it. And we have videos to go along with this. So it's not just me explaining it. It's somebody else explaining it in a video format in a very easy to follow manner with education.
Awesome, man. Yeah. So I was just curious. Maybe you could talk a little bit about what you've learned, if anything, because you said you're relatively new. So I'm sure you've learned something from 3T Networks, and maybe we can learn a little bit from you. What have been some of your maybe mistakes in trading that some people could learn from? Maybe a story or something.
Well, some people say, oh, it's better to look at the ones that are smaller. So it's better to look at the ones that are pennies. It's better the ones that are like 30 cents. Well, I think the best thing that you have to do, and when I first started out, I said, yeah, you know what? Maybe that's a good idea. I'll get involved in the small ones and we'll just leave it at that. Then I started looking at the projects behind every single one of them. And on top of that, I also started noticing that, well, hey, wait a minute. Some of the ones that are in a couple dollars, maybe those are the ones that I actually want to look at. So my biggest mistake was to not put $2,000 into Neo when it was $1. That's my biggest mistake.
Because it was too high, right? And everything else was cheaper.
Exactly, exactly. So I said, oh,
Yeah.
that's too much. So that was my mistake into crypto. One of my strengths was I got into Substratum really early, and I put a fair amount into that.
Nice. I accidentally sold Ethereum trying to short it on the Ethereum Classic fork.
Hmm.
I was doing very well, and I was trying to be quick, and I was like, I swear to God, I was like drinking Red Bulls to stay up, and I was a little delirious, and I went to do a buy order, or no, a sell order, and I didn't edit the price right, and I sold it for way less than market value, and the order got filled right away, and I was like, but that shouldn't have went in yet. I was gonna sell that. The price ain't there yet. And I looked and I was like, well, shit. I had to basically buy back my Ethereum for twice the price almost. And that was an expensive life lesson, especially now considering the increase in Ethereum since my mistake about 2 years ago now. So it was like $5 or $10 in Ethereum or something like that when that happened. And I lost half of my trading stash on that mistake. So,
Oof,
yeah, dude. I mean,
that's rough.
be careful when you're editing the prices, especially in buy and sell when you're trying to determine the price you're wanting to put the buy order or the sell order in for, because those decimals, when you're new to this, it
Oh
all
yeah.
looks the same, but 6 zeros and 4 zeros make a hell of a difference.
Oh yeah, man. It's so true. That's very true. You know, it's funny. One of the things that I actually did, which was really funny. So the first time I ever got in was actually looking at Binance, and so that was the first exchange I actually got into. And when I got into Binance, one of the first ones that was up there was ADA, Cardano. And so I was looking at Cardano and I was like, oh, you know what? Oh, I'll put a buy order in. And Binance does it so fast when you click that it just goes through like in like a half a second. And I was like, oh, maybe it didn't go through. I'll do it again. So I did it again, and then I accidentally got like something like 4 or 5 thousand instead of 2,000 worth of Cardano.
What?
So and I
Oh,
got it really early, so that was really awesome.
hell
Uh,
yeah. I got in at 10 cents and I told everybody, look, man, it's not going to stop. And I actually did sell at the top, so I can't lie. I do these things publicly on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. I did get out around the time Omar Bam interviewed Chris.
mhm.
I was like, oh, that's kind of like a peak moment. That's a peaker. That's a peak maker. So I sold at the peak and I bought back in, but I didn't get 4,000, man. That is hella. I wish I had the guts to go to the triple digits on coins like that. Anything that's like a newer coin like of that stature, obviously the reputation behind it's long, but it scares me away from putting anything more than like a very like small 1% or something of that effect of the portfolio into it until I learn more about it. I've started to get more ADA Cardano, but Dennis Turk just hit me up with a a 5 Aussie dollar super chat saying go Neo and ICX. So yeah, man. I don't think Neo's done yet. Don't let that deter you. Maybe start buying back into it now. I'm a big fan of Neo as much as I am Ethereum. But you know, let's get this on the mining road here. Let's talk a little bit about mining. What kind of cloud mining services does 3TN or 3T Networks offer, and how is it any different than like Genesis or BitConnect or any of those other things?
Yeah, so we actually it was actually really cool. So the guy who actually does our program, who actually runs the mining, who actually runs the mining facility, um, is a close friend of our CEO, and he's a close friend of Dan. And he basically was able to get this mining system set up so that anybody who comes into our company can basically get started at one of two areas. So you can join as a distributor because we are a network marketing company. So you can join as a distributor and you can get a mining contract within that membership, or you can join as a customer and you can buy your own mining contract, and you can buy anywhere from zero point 0.5 to 1.25 terahash that you get for about 3 years. Now, the really cool thing about us is that even if for some odd reason you decide to leave the company in any capacity, you actually get to keep your mining contract because it's done with a third party. So that's kind of cool in itself. And if we all realize that the price of Bitcoin is going to rise within the next 3 years, that means that your mining contract in the next 3 years is actually going to be worth a lot more per day. So that's one thing that's exciting. But what differentiates us, that I've seen, is that, for example, when the owners of this company, and the company name is called Cryptmin, CRYPTMIN, as in Nancy.com. And what they did was they created an hour video. This hour video basically showed, it's kind of like the owner played dumb, and he's like, hey, what is mining? How does mining work? And so they kind of like did a whole educational overview of how mining works and why getting into mining is actually a very good idea, and how cloud mining is way more beneficial in the long run than buying your own mining software and getting your own rigs and doing it in a warehouse or at home or whatever you want to do.
Hell yeah, I don't want to deal with all that. Plus, it's
Right.
all, the maintenance is insane. That, I mean, when something breaks, good luck ordering a part, updating if something were to change. Forget all that. And oh, hi, hey, Court L. I just met you today at Sprinkles. I got ice cream today, and I was wearing my hat. And that girl in the chat, she was like, "Oh, you do Bitcoin?" And I was like, "Yeah, I love Bitcoin." She's like, "I got Bitcoin." I was like, "Oh shit, you got Bitcoin?" And it was like, check me out on YouTube. So she's checking me out on YouTube. Hi, Court. That's awesome. Local shop. I'm hopeful maybe, Court, you and me, we can get that ice cream shop to accept Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies for ice creams, because that would just be awesome. We can make that happen. But yeah, dude, mining as a cloud service as opposed to physically getting involved is obviously kind of like a no-brainer at this point, especially because of the scarcity and getting the hand. I mean, if you're gonna buy mining equipment, you're basically making a profit flipping it on Amazon or eBay for double what you paid, and flipping your money a little easier that way. People are upcharging for these mining cards or the graphics cards, these miners, and all these things on Amazon because there isn't enough to meet the supply demand. But
No.
what about the opposition to that? Do you think it's good or better to invest in the actual asset and buy the cryptocurrency and hold that, as opposed to investing in a cloud mining contract? Or is it something that you hedge with? 80% goes to buying the coin, 20% goes to mining the coin. What do you think's the difference there? What benefits are there between the two?
Well, I think from the standpoint of 3T, the greatest thing about the mining contract is that literally it's a set it and forget it method. Like, you never have to look at it again. It's just there, it's done, you don't have to stress about it. And that's inclusive within a portion of your membership as a distributor. So you don't even have to worry about that from that standpoint. So the mining really kind of takes care of itself, and then from there you can basically do whatever you want to do as far as using your money to diversify into other coins or whatever for that nature.
Sorry, yeah, somebody compared Crypto Chronics, considered it, said it's basically the act of taking somebody else's shit and saying mine. It's more like renting out renting space and paying for the cost to maintain the space, and you get to decide what happens with that space and the resources it costs to maintain it. You know, you get a lot of say in that. So if something's going that you don't like, or you may predict something going another way, I do say you could probably, what is it, every week or so you update your contract and say, hey, don't mind this, mind that, or don't mind that, mind this. You obviously have some controls over that, right?
Well, within our company, you actually don't have control over what it mines. But what the company does, what CryptoMin does, is they basically will only offer whatever's profitable at that point in time. So they'll only mine what's profitable at that point in time.
Oh, so you
So
can't screw
that's
yourself.
why I said yours is. Yeah, exactly, exactly. So if they feel that BCH for some reason is more beneficial at that point in time, or Dash or Monero or whatever, then they're going to go after that particular coin and do it then.
Cool, that's awesome, man. Yeah, that's the thing with mining for yourself. You can get stuck running something, the whole day because you can't get home. You're at work or whatever, on vacation. You left your miner running, and now something went askew, and you can't change it. You're trying to do it on your phone. I know a lot of people can port in with their phone, but whatever, you can't change what you're mining. So now the electricity you're spending on the mining equipment you have in your house is not doing the most cost efficient thing. I'm waiting. I do want to get into mining myself. I am waiting for an opportune time. I definitely missed that opportune time like a year ago before mining equipment got so scarce itself. But again, once it becomes to the point to where there's 20% sales on miners again, then I'm definitely getting into it myself. But until then, I am trying to diversify my portfolio now that I'm trying to think like a more long-term investor. I never had the intention of becoming an investor. I'm just I hate fiat, so I bought Bitcoin, and here I am. But I do have a portfolio I have to protect, and I have to diversify it. I have to get stocks, I have to get bonds, I have to get commodities, and I want to hold Bitcoin, but I have learned that, and see if you agree with me on this. I feel like having a mining contract, in a sense, without overdoing it, like very small percentage of my portfolio allocated to mining, but it keeps it at like a dollar cost average reinvesting type of a feel, where I'm catching the highs, I'm catching the lows. Either way, I'm getting a little bit of crypto, like a dollar cost average re-entry, and I could sell all my Bitcoin that I already got, but tomorrow I can get a little bit more, and the next day I'll get a little bit more, and it's not selling it indefinitely. So it kind of keeps me in that space where I'm catching all the highs, I'm catching all the lows. So it's like I'm investing in a set it and forget it, high and low, dollar cost average investing machine. Like, I'm trying to simplify it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean you're essentially right. You are able to benefit from the highs and the lows, and that's one of the great things that mining offers, and it's really important that people do realize the benefits of cloud mining, because there are many benefits that as we know. I mean, the most really the highest echelons of cloud mining are really Genesis and Hashflare, and so they actually, our company, not the 3T, but the equipment company, actually started by leasing some of their equipment from Genesis.
Oh,
So there is a lot of legitimacy behind that, which is pretty impressive. So yeah, I mean, the one thing I do before I ever join anything is a lot of vetting, and so I did that in this company before I even jumped into it. But obviously, it's something that has sustainability, something that's going to be here for a while, and the educational aspect that we offer is really impressive.
And it must be. I mean, you came with a reference from one of my buddies from the Bitcoin podcast. Marcello said, "Hey, dude, you gotta meet this guy. He's in New Jersey. He's speaking at conferences. So here we are. We're talking, and yeah, man. I mean, that's how you get to learn. You find something, you find somebody, you converse, you work together, and you see what's up. And I'm happy things are working out at the 3TN with you, and and for them and for the clients and everything. I do have a question here. Let me see if I can get exactly who said this because that was pretty funny. Oh no, where'd it go? I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. Somebody wanted to know about any like ICOs and stuff like that that you guys recommend and how that process goes.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, if I'm looking for like an ICO or an investment opportunity, obviously I know the risks or whatever, or assume I don't. You know, you'd have to explain that, I guess. But like,
Yep.
how does that process for 3TN go? How do you guys vet an ICO or come to the point to where you're like, you know what, this is something that we're going to, recommend, which puts your credibility on the line long term. So obviously there's that risk factor to even being involved. So obviously there's that. But what's the process like from, is it the white paper, the team, the developers, the project itself, whatever. So if you could explain the process, please.
Yeah, sure. So let me open one here. This was one of the ones that our company actually recommended as one that's going to have a nice long-term project, nice long-term profitability. You know, most of the ICOs that we recommend are not your get rich and quick, real quick scheme kind of things because they are projects and projects take time to build. And as we know, technically, an ICO does not need to show any kind of earnings or any kind of real value before 2 years. So you could get into something a year and a half later and that team could go bye-bye and
Lambo City.
don't have to show anything for it. So what we do is we take the ICOs. So as an example, let me go here just to scroll down real quick. So here's the white paper, right? So I'm going to bring up the white paper for LeadCoin. All right, here we go. So here's the white paper, right? How many pages? 55 pages. I don't know about you guys. I don't have time to go through 55 pages of white paper. Now, I'm not saying you can't skim through, look through it, get your own analysis and compare it to ours. But at the same time, if you're like me and I'm a very busy person, I don't have time to go through this. So what I do is instead I go to our company and I say, okay, well, there's the white paper. That's what they looked for. Well, now I'm going to go and see what summary we have. So now we have the project name, which is obviously very simple. The token details. Everything that goes into the token details is here. That's already on the white paper. The token sale date on the white paper. Is there a whitelist to join, if any? No. Well, project, exactly what the project does without you reading 35 pages. What is the token used for? Here's the website for the token.
If you want, you can share your screen. I didn't know if you thought you were. It's not sharing.
Oh, crap. Sorry.
Yeah, it looked like you might have been pointing at things the whole time. I thought I should mention it.
Yeah, my bad. Hold on. Let me go back in and let me share it again. I apologize.
Somebody said, "Don't trust Roger Ver. His slogan is trust, don't verify."
Can you see it now?
Yes, sir.
All right, beautiful. So let me
There
start over.
we go.
So you have the token details, right? The token sale date. Is there a whitelist to join? No, not in this case, but there may be in other ones. The project, so the project behind it. Now, all of this is done in the white paper, but we're summarizing it here so you don't have to scrutinize the white paper so much. What is the token used for? The website for the token, the white paper, what is the roadmap, what is the team, all the names of the people, where their positions are, the strengths and advantages of the coin. This one, it says the strengths are mostly privately funded, and a 100-minute token sale event will leave lots of hungry buyers once they go live. And the weakness is most interested supporters will not get a chance to buy any tokens as the sale only lasts for 100 minutes. And their conclusion is while business invests large sums of money to acquire new customers, a large majority of them are left unsatisfied. This dissatisfaction, oh my God, I can't speak. This dissatisfaction opens the door for customers to have a new opening for buying leads. Because what this project does, to scroll up a little bit, oh, look how fast I could find that. What this project does, here's the project. LeadCoin is built on a decentralized network, which is what everybody looks for. That network's goal is to provide a real-time supply of hot leads. The network only feature leads that have an immediate need for a specific solution. Therefore, buyers can contact these leads knowing that they're motivated and relevant to their business. The system features verified contact information and an analysis of the lead's specific needs, ensuring buyers are getting the leads they're looking for. This is actually a need, especially in the world of network marketing. This is something that we don't have. So to a network marketer like myself, this is actually quite an exciting project. And so if we scroll down beyond the conclusion, you'll see here, and you'll see what we actually rate it. So we rate it a green plus. And what we're basically looking for here is what we describe. What are the strengths and weaknesses? What is the team? What is the longevity of the team? How many years have they been there? So it's not, it's not short term. Where are they coming from? So we look to see where the team is coming from. And we won't put that here, but these are the things we look for. The roadmap. Is there a roadmap? Because some of them don't even have a roadmap. Is the roadmap complete? Is there a white paper? Yes, there is, obviously, like every other one should have. But some of them are incomplete. So we'll let you know if there's an incomplete white paper. So to give you a contrast between the two, so let me go back here real quick and go into the ICO reports just to show you how it's done. So here you're going to see we have it in yellow, green, and red. So green means it has the longest project value. It's going to be around a fair amount of time, and there's some great projects behind it, or at least that will be coming. Yellow means, well, we're not going to put our money behind it, but it's not to say that it's bad. It's just that there may be some inconsistencies there.
Of course, Smoke Coin's red.
Yeah, right?
I mean, it just sounds bad out of the gate. I'm just saying.
Yeah, so you see it says Dinero Scam, right? So if we click on Dinero Scam and we scroll to the bottom, it's going to tell you exactly why it's a scam.
So, it explains why.
Yep, it explains exactly why. So here's your strengths and weaknesses. The company has no products or service in place. Aside from this basic information, there really isn't much information about Dinero available online. The Dinero website and white paper feature no technical details of the platform or how it plans to solve major banking problems. So they show you why it's a red. It's not like we're saying, oh, it's a red and that's it. No, we show you exactly why. You can gain and decipher this conclusion by reading the white paper if you have at least a moderate amount of knowledge of reading white papers. But if you don't, it's going to be hard for you to come to that conclusion, and it's very time consuming. So the biggest benefit of this is that we take the time out of the people so that they don't have to take hours and hours and hours out of their day figuring out exactly what to do and so forth and so on.
Awesome, man. So what are some of the ICOs maybe you have been involved in as an investor? Have you ever been burnt by a bad ICO, or have you ever made the mistake of sending your exchange Ethereum address to claim your ERC20 tokens and have lost it in the ether? Because I have.
Yeah, you know what? I've been lucky from the ERC20 standpoint. So I've never sold money or anything like that. So that's been great. As far as getting burned by a couple ICOs, there were a couple ICOs where I spoke to the owner of the company, and these were lending coin based. Ever since then, I actually don't ever trust a lending platform again. But these were lending coin based, and one of them I spoke to the owner three separate times, and he assured me this was this and this was this, and I purposely didn't put a lot of people behind it. I only maybe reached out to about 25, 30, 35 people, but I just wanted to see if it really would be, and it was around a while, but then all of a sudden, bam, they up and left. And the craziest thing was that their admin team Didn't even know at all.
I actually seen similar stuff happen with an ICO once. I was demonetized on YouTube, and I was looking for a platform. I found Steemit and DTube, so that's cool. But before I found about DTube and all that, there was an ICO at the time. Clout, most people will remember. I was talking about Clout ICO a while back, and I actually went to their launch party and saw that they were changing the white paper the last minute. There's so many people were leaving the team that weren't being taken off the white paper, and I was just like, oh, I'm seeing way too much, and I kind of got the hell out of there. I did throw some effort into it, and it did kind of, I feel like it hurt my reputation. I don't talk about ICOs as much anymore since then, but I'll be honest, I did personally have passion for the project. Truly, I wanted there to be a platform like that platform, but unfortunately, after meeting the founder in person, after speaking with them, I knew to run, and I told people I was running. They should run with me. We should all head for the hills together, and that's the part that's, it's a little troublesome when it comes to investing. People, they want to come in here and find that get rich quick coin, like you were saying, that doesn't fucking exist. It just doesn't exist, man. But that's what people want. They want that what's the next 100x coin, or what's the next Bitcoin, what's going to go from 300 to 20,000. None of them. Not until Bitcoin goes to 200,000. That's where the other coins will follow. But Bitcoin is going to set that lead, that precedent. But people need a place to get information, and I'm getting a little tired of saying Google it, YouTube it, and good luck. I've personally found you're probably my third person on this platform that has been an educator in this, because I want people to know there's many options. This 3tnetworks.com is one of your options, and if this option sounds like it's for you, go for it. If not, there's other ones out there, like my last guest from Udemy. I'm just saying that there's avenues for education that are credible, in the sense of where they put their reputation on the line, not just as a person but as a business, and all they're selling you is information. If it isn't credible, they have nothing to sell you tomorrow. So
Right.
that's what I like about some of these platforms, where it'll only work in the wrong way for so long, and it doesn't work out wrong for long. So I think people need a place to get information safely, and I checked out 3TN, and I think this is a place people can go if they're interested in paying for quality education. This is the way out. And some of the people were asking in the chat, is this more for just traders and investors, or do you teach people about the blockchain technology and about how cryptocurrencies work and how to use cryptocurrencies as an end user, or is it majority investor information and education?
Um, I think it all depends on what team you're on. I mean, we're educating people from the ground up. So we're teaching them about, like in my meetups, we're talking to them about blockchain, we're talking to them about cryptocurrency, we're talking to them about getting into ICOs, how to get into an ICO, what do you look for in an ICO when you're trying to get into an ICO, what precautions should you be taking. So we do everything. As I said, we haven't launched our full educational platform on our particular website yet, but we're going to very shortly, and our COO is actually working on that now. So he's working on getting that up and running, and that will be up soon. But from the products perspective, really, I mean, the ICOs are really for anybody who's looking to do any kind of investing into these ICOs. The trading signals, the trend trading signals, are anybody who's trying to bounce back and forth between possibly Forex and crypto and things of that nature, that don't have a lot of time to invest in day trading, and instead you do a trend trading through our signals. And it's only one time a day you'll get a ding from Telegram at like 7 o'clock at night Eastern Standard Time that will say your charts have been updated or your ICOs have been updated, and then you just log into your back office and just go look. It's a very simple, easy process to follow.
Excellent, man. So I wanted to wrap things up here a little bit. Maybe let people know the roadmap a little bit more for 3TN, the 2018 roadmap, and a little bit more about what they can expect from the different levels. I do know that there was different payment tiers and stuff like that, so you don't have to be risking thousands of dollars to get trading information.
Right.
Some people don't have even $100 to invest, let alone invest in their education in this. So what are some of those different options, and what do they offer as opposed to each other? So we can wrap this up a little bit.
Yeah, perfect. So I just wanted to show you this really fast as a really cool educational resource. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So this is a site called upfolio.com that I found, and I'm sure you probably heard of it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so this is a really cool site. It kind of goes over in graphic detail exactly how to do everything. I mean, if you clicked on one of them, it'll load it up, and then it'll explain how to use the guide. It's very simple to follow, very easy to click through. I don't want to waste too much time here going over that, but if somebody wants to get a general idea of Ethereum, Bitcoin, and blockchain technology, you can actually just click on this link, and it'll give you a nice little walkthrough of exactly how everything works. So that's something that's pretty cool. I thought that was awesome and something that they did. So let me go back here. Let me go back into oops, I went too far. My bad. Hang on. There we go. Is that working now? Sorry, guys. Where'd it go? Oh, well, let's log in again real fast.
You might want to unshare if you're going to show
Yep.
anything.
Yep.
There you go. Good job. Been there, almost done that.
Yeah, seriously. All right, give me 1 second. Shouldn't take long. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up our presentation, which actually we have something similar to the presentation on our website. But just to show you briefly, where is it? There it is. All right, open. Okay. So here we go. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Awesome. Yes. Go away. Happens all the time. Enable editing. All right, here we go. So if we scroll down to where the mitten gritty of this. Oh, this is interesting, actually. This is a cool slide. So these are the first 7 ICOs. Let me make it a little bigger. These are the first 7 ICOs that we picked. Nagako, Everex, Link, Raiden, QuantStamp, ETHLend, and Substratum. And if you had put $300 into each one of these 7, which would be $2,100, you would have $20,679 by January 28th.
Nice.
So this is just a little breakdown that we have, which is pretty cool. So from a customer standpoint, there are 3 different kinds of things you can do. You can get into the traffic light trading signals, which is $119 recurring every 4 weeks, or $139 a month, and it's traffic light trading signals and the ICO reports. Excuse me. From a customer perspective, I really think the benefit is in the $139 because it's only $20 more, and you're getting all the updated ICO reports. Right now, we have a total of about 64 ICO reports. So, and that's going to just keep growing and growing and growing as we go along. And then you can also get 3 different mining contracts, one at 0.25, one at 0.5, and one at 1.25, one at 239, 334, and 599, which is clearly decrypted right here. And then on a distributor side, so if you decide that, hey, I want to grow this business, and this is something that I want to tell everybody else about, I want to be an educator like you, and I want to understand exactly how I can grow it. Well, this is how you can grow it. So you join as a distributor at either $149, $499, and $999, and then within these 2 options, which I'll go over in a minute, you can either do a monthly subscription at $119 or $139. But I always talk, and obviously it's a little more expensive, but the reason why is because there's a benefit behind it. So I talk a lot about the 9.99 because, well, obviously there's the most to gain in that in general, but at the same time, basically what we're talking about here is this 99.99. You're getting a 1.25 terahash mining contract over 3 years. That's the first thing you get. You're getting 15,000 of R3T coins. So we have our own ICO that's going to be coming out, and our white paper should be released within the next 2 weeks or so. So that's going to be awesome, and it's going to be an e-commerce platform that's very similar to eBay, so you can actually buy and sell things on it. So it's going to be pretty cool. And think about it. I mean, if you get 15,000 3T coins, and if that goes to 10 cents, that's $1,500 right there. So if that goes to $1,500 and you're paying $9.99, you've already made it back. Plus you have a mining contract. Plus you have 1,500 rewards points. And those rewards points in the next few months on our ICO platform, you'll actually be able to use to indirectly pay for our monthly subscription. So 10 out of 12 months of your monthly subscription is already paid for by paying for this $9.99. So that's something that's actually really, really cool, and that's why I always stress that, because you get a lot of rewards points from this particular package. But let's say you can't afford that and you want to jump down one lower. Well, then you're going to make your mining contract a lot less, from 1.25 to 0.25, from 15,000 coins to 5,000 coins, and from 15,000 reward points to 600 rewards points. So the cool thing here, though, is if you roll at the 4.99 level, and at any point in time you want to upgrade, all you have to do is pay the difference between the two. The only downfall is that if you want to upgrade from the 149 to the 4.99 or the 9.99, you have to pay in full all over again. So you would have to pay the full 4.99 or the full 9.99. Whereas if you go from 4.99 to 9.99, you're just paying the difference. With the 149, you're getting the 500 3T coins, 150 rewards points, and 100 business volume. If you enroll at the 149, you will get the ICO reports, but you will have to wait a full month to actually get them. So there is some negative downside to enrolling at the 149, but if that's all you can afford right now, then it's so be it. Because the one thing that this isn't something that every single person can get into. Really, when you enroll with this company, you should have, if you're coming in at the $500 mark for the advanced trader, you should really have about $500 to $1,000 to play with, so that you can enroll either in the different ICOs, or you can get into Bitcoin or get into Litecoin, follow the signals, get some results from it, share your results, so forth and so on. And then if you're enrolling at the 9.99, you probably want to have an extra grand to actually play with. So no, it's not for every single person, but for the person that is determined to actually use these things to their advantage, it actually solves a great need in this market.
Awesome, man. Perfect wrap up there, man. You know what? Again, people, check it out. It's 3tnetworks.com. And man, it's been great talking with you. Hopefully people have learned a little bit from this, and if not, they have a place they can go and get the education that they're seeking. Or if that's not their cup of tea, keep on looking, guys. There's something out there. Just don't go into this blind and learn, with your eyes closed. Find some form and some place and some avenue, some platform, somewhere to learn, and then you can dive on in. You don't learn how to swim in the moment, all right, on your own. You just don't jump into the deep end with nobody, with no lifeguards on deck, and crypto, we got a couple lifeguards, we got a couple bad actors, you got to be careful, but, it's going to be a lot easier to deter which one's which with a little bit of understanding. So if you're going to be throwing thousands of dollars into this space, throw a couple hundred of dollars into this space and your wallet will be better off. Peter, any last words or anything?
Yeah, man, I just wanted to add a few things. So we are going to be doing meetups starting March 13th. We're going to be starting in Paramus, New Jersey, which is in North Jersey, if you don't know. And we are going to be hosting meetups at Panera Bread on Route 17 in Paramus.
That is awesome. Hold on, how far is that from me? You said in New
Uh,
Jersey, right?
yeah, yeah, New
So
Jersey.
how far is that from, I'll say, the Cherry Hill area?
45 minutes or so.
Dude, I might be there. I
Yeah, that
could
would
I
be
could take
awesome,
that
man.
ride for some Panera. My girl loves Panera.
Right. There you go. Yeah, so that would be awesome. And then we're actually going to be, so we'll be doing that every Tuesday, second Tuesday of the month. Our meetup group on meetups is NJ Crypto Enthusiasts. I think you included a link for that, correct?
All the links are in the description box below. Everybody listening, as well as check out Pure Blockchain Wealth. They'll be doing the interview with Dan, the CEO. But yes, the links are down below.
Awesome. And then May 3rd, we're actually going to be at the Javits Center where we're going to be introducing people to 3T Networks and showing them exactly how we do things with a nice little presentation. There's a small business expo there. And May 10th, we are going to be at Nassau Coliseum basically doing the same exact thing. So we're trying to get the word out to people because our company is a little bit newer and we're trying to show them that, hey, look, don't get lost in the world of network marketing because everybody gets scared when they hear the word network marketing, but we are an information service and that is what you're paying for per month. We are not taking your money in any way, shape, or form. So we are protecting and growing your wealth.
Exactly, man, and it's word of mouth based business, guys. If it wasn't worth it, they wouldn't be doing well. That's how you have to look at it. And I haven't heard anything bad, so check it out. You guys, let me know what you think. Go check out 3tnetworks.com. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think. Let everybody know what you think, and that way we can all come to the conclusion together, man. Peter, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on. Everybody, again, the links are in the description box below, and have a day.
Thanks for your time, Ken.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. This is awesome.